Alright, well, today, I'm gonna be hand sewing another boot cover. So, you can see the one finished one here. And it's all hand sewn, so you can't see the stitch marks. My finger is green so that it's duct tape, so that I'm already ready to go to hand sew the other one. This closure will get closed later after I put the buttons on. I'm gluing, just reinforcement gluing the sides of the zipper. So yeah, the trim, all hand sewn all the way around on the inside as well. There are 2 bias tapes on either side of the elastic. So yeah, now I'm going to finish the other one. So I'm going to put this one off to the side. I'm going to say off to the side, I'll just put it behind me. I'm going to work on this one. So I ended up using those 2, so like this whole strip. 2 of these did the whole boot cover with just barely enough scraps to spare. I'm going to try to remember the order in which I did the last one, because it seemed to work out well enough. So I made this double folded bias tape. That way it would color match my marigold buttons. Forgot to cut my string, and I don't want to lose that fold. The reason I have the duct tape on my finger is because with all this hand sewing, I'm slowly wearing down the skin on my fingertip. So it's less painful this way. I only need in thread enough to make a couple knots. However, I gotta keep in mind that I'm also going to do around the corner. There we go. I hide all of my tails. I'm going to start on this side. So when I said that I had glued that side together and it was clamped, is I hand sewed over top of the handmade bias tape with the zipper cover, and so I've applied some, what is it, barge to seal that up. But that's the last step, because you don't want to do that. You don't want to have wet glue while you're working. I try to get it as far over as possible, so I'm pushing down at the same time that I'm trying to close it. I don't want to pull too tightly because I don't want to pull that knot through. Oops. I'll try not to get my big fat head in the way too. This just makes everything so neat and clean. Because this end will get pulled on a lot, I'm going to go through it once more. And hit in between my stitches, my past stitches. Before coming back down. This one's important because I'm going to end up pushing it through. I've been using the notch in between the scissors there to help push this pin back through. Let's see if it'll be out. This one was an easy one. Didn't have to go through too many. It should have pulled through easily, so if I get resistance, I know to check the other side. There's probably a knot. I like to make them really close together. Pardon me. At this point, because I'm really trying to secure this end cap down into place. I'm pulling taut on my string now, and this is where I will need the assistance. So I'm trying to go through all of those layers at once. And if I just push firmly and steadily, I can do it. But I needed that metal backing. So thank you, scissors. Oomph as well. A lot of finagling and moving things around. So now I'm going to make sure that I'm pushing down the bias tape along the outer edge. I'm going to make sure that the fabric below it, because I no longer have that zigzag stitch like I do on the flaps. Thanks for the follow. So I'm going to come back right underneath my bias tape. Now, when I'm pulling taut on my thread, I'm pulling in the direction that I'm sewing. That's the direction that, you know, my thread path is traveling. If I pull up on it, what's going to happen is I'm going to pull up on the fibers of the fabric, and that will make the hole a little bit more visible, especially on this awkward pleather crap. It doesn't, there's no way for the fibers to rejoin back together to hide the visible hole. So I'm pulling always, I try to pull in the direction that I want to sew. And I just want to slide it on the inside of that fold. I'll push through right under, making sure to come up right on the edge of the other side. Oh, listen away. I'm sorry that it's my voice that you unfortunately have to listen to. So we just weave this back and forth for literally hours on end. Always try to pull out your knots as you go. The last thing you want is to get all the way to the end, flip over and realize that you've got a freaking rat's nest on the other side. I've done that. Don't want to do that ever again. That, and I've only cut enough string for this length. So if I screw something up, I will have to tie off and tie back on. And nobody wants that. It's extra steps. Oh, well, I'm glad that I've sparked your interest with this cosplay stream for a little bit. So just going back and forth. When I get to the center strip for Mad Moxxi's boot covers, I want to make sure that I am covering the bias tape, one, that there's not an extra addition sticking out over the top. Just like at the edge, I'm going to pull my stitches together, pull my stitches together and put a couple through this top to really keep it pressed down. Because remember, as of right now, I've only stitched one side of it down. That fabric tack adhesive is what's holding it down on the other side. Okay, candy on the toolbox. I think my project manager Stitch is chilling in a hammock in the gaming and computer room. He's not feeling crafty today, little bastard. All right, let's see here. Oh, biology homework. I'm 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 really glad that I will never have homework again. Hopefully, I say that hopefully. Biology. I took a biology course in high school, environmental biology. And I really had to persuade my teacher into letting me take the course. Because, I mean, let's be honest. I put more of my time into art than books. And so I didn't do so hot in his last class. And he knew the only reason I wanted to be in that class is to go to the zoo with my friends at the end of the school year. So I had to make a promise to him that I wouldn't misbehave and that I would mind my P's and Q's. So worth it to the zoo. Hi, Mocap. Instead of writing a paper, I put together a scrapbook of my friend and me and my friends at the zoo. Oh, good times. Good times. And my friends and I, if we're gonna go political. College biochemistry. Yeah, no. I took environmental chemistry, or not in, what was it? Was it basic chemistry as a spring term? Yeah, no, that was horrible. That was horrible. So horrible. I did like the lab though. We took a penny and what is it? Melted away the nickel or zinc or whatever's inside a penny, so it was just the copper shell. That part was fun. The rest of it was horrible. Biochemistry. No, that's a lot. Now it's funny that I'm coming to the same problem. On the last boot cover, I was running out of string come the end, and I wasn't sure I was going to have enough to tie it off. And it seems that I'm having the same exact problem on this side. Interesting. Oh yeah, I've done lab lectures. I went to a private liberal arts school, so I understand the lab lecture shenanigans. But for some of the classes, that's the only way you could take them. That was a needle stick through to the other side. Alright, one side done, only a bunch more to go. That doesn't sound so bad when you put it like that. Sounds hauntingly bad. So since I've done this one, I might as well do the little short guy side. That should work perfectly. Ow. I'm going to unpin these guys for now. I just shot my pin somewhere. This is great. I'm going. Oh, there it is. The last thing I need is to step on it. Quantum analysis. You know. Alright, so that one's good to go. Now let's get this. So what I do is, to fold them over, is I have to shorten the bias tape on the side. So I just kind of refold and fold it over. There's no exact science to it. Whatever works. However, it's more important with this one that you get a nice clean fold, so not like how that turned out there. Huh. Alright, and so again I'm going to start by just going up on the sides. Cut across, supposedly. This duct tape on my fingertip thing is really working out well. I mean, I'm not looking forward to pulling it off later, but for right now it's glorious. I almost feel bad that I'm making Mad Moxxi's boot covers so pretty, so neat, so tidy, only to have to do cell shading and sketch lines and weathering all over them and make them not look as neat. Oh well. So if I, just like that one, if I went up through the fabric and it came out way off and inside the bias tape, so I just pulled the pin back out and re-guided it through. Sometimes I get ahead of myself and forget. Like I almost went down instead of going through the bottom, which would have been bad. So again, I just keep making sure that I'm pushing down on the top. That way it's following. Keep making sure that I'm pulling it taut as I go. Pull in the direction that I'm sewing, that way I don't make my holes even more visible. Shiny, yeah, the white fabric is kind of shiny. Shiny and quite annoying to work with because adhesives don't stick to it quite too well. So slightly irritating all at the same time. So we're hand stitching the border of Mad Moxxi's boot covers on. We don't want our sewing top stitch lines or any stitches to be visible, so we're doing it this fun way here. And I'm realizing now I should have cut that before I got this far. Rats. Hindsight. 2020. The little kid safety scissors are better. So I just had a little bit left of piece number 1. So this is all I had left of. Oh goodness. So there, you can see how clean and nice the top looks. This will be the side that the buttons go on. And I still have to finish painting these. These just have their base coats on them. I casted all the buttons myself. Alright. So now I'm going to move on to the bottom. The first thing I need to do for the bottom is cover the sides of the elastic. And when you see this, you're gonna think I'm crazy. So I'm gonna put these scissors away, they're no good. I guess we're gonna be using safety scissors. So I just cut off the selvage, a little fuzzy end. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to sew one piece to the front and one piece to the back and connect the tops. Then I'm going to take more pieces and sew them the rest of the way. So I'm going to first, and I can't cut too much because I know from the last one I have literally just enough to do this. So I will end up needing 4 of these little pieces, 2 for each cover. or 2 for like, so 2 for this side and 2 for the other side. So there's 2 there. All right. I don't need that much. That was a little overzealous. Now what I'm going to do first is I'm going to sew them together over top of the edge of the bottom of the boot. So I'm going to take 2 of them. I'm going to get this string out of my way. Take a piece of apple. I'm going to take 1 piece and I'm going to hold it behind. One piece will be in front. And I'm going to stitch them together at the top up here. So first off, I've got to tie my knot. So the way to do it with this one is I found it works out best just to do the inside fold and then come up through the top like so. Now I'm going to hold this. The reason that I didn't put the elastic on later is because I wanted the elastic stuck to the most secure spot. So I'm just going to go back and forth. Knowing that I cannot pass my stitch through the elastic if I want it to be finally done. Yay! Congratulations! As my first exam is on Monday. That sucks. Best of luck. Thank you for the follow. Best of luck on that exam. I can't pass through the elastics. I do want that elastic to stretch. So when I get to the point where I'm going to need to either pass through the elastic, I just pull it all the way through to the other side and then make sure that I get as close as I possibly can without hooking a fiber of the elastic on the other side. And I'm going to end up making 2 passes. So I'll go from, what is this, right to left, and then I'm going to go left to right with the same exact needle and thread. I'm going to flip it over because I'm right-handed. So just keep weaving back and forth. Sorry, I'm gonna, take this off screen for a second. Now with this, no one's going to see the end here, so I can just tie it right to and then I'll do the other side. So there's one side. Put that down. You know, after this, I think I'm going to stitch the top, the rest of the top on the other side, just so I can call that a day. Because sewing the bias tape around the bottom part is a little cumbersome. So, start it the exact same way. Enough to do 1 and 2 passes, hopefully enough for the tie. Wishful thinking, we'll see. Putting 1 on the inside, as well as 1 on the outside. I do have to be careful that when I pull it with this cotton fabric, it doesn't have any backing into it or any interfacing like the rest of the boot covers do. So it's very easy to scrunch it up. So remember, I'm not going to pass through my elastic. I'm going to pass through the outer edge. So I'm going to switch gears and go back up to the top. I know I'm going to have to go around the edge twice on both sides. Okay. Just like the other side where we made this really nice cap, I've got to do the same to this side. I want to make sure that the sides come together around. Nothing's sticking out. Gotta love a good knot when you're just trying to get this started. So I want to try to get it as even as possible. So what's got me held up is that there's a knot, it seems, that is formed. It means it's somewhere over here. There, got it out. Let's see if I can slide this back on. Yay! Just like the other side, this one's going to get a lot of pull on it, so I want to go back up through the sides and come back down just to reinforce things. Now I'm going to figure out where we put this. What's that shiny material? The shiny material is from the Yaya Han fabric line. It's for my Mad Moxxi boot covers. So here are the boots. These are her specs, or whatever the heck. Figured out what the term was before. So I, again, can't push it through with my fingers, so I'm going to use scissors to help push that stupid needle through all those layers. Yeah, spats. I guess because of the rest of her outfits, her calves are cold, so she wears spats. Alright, so it's annoying to work with this much, so once I've gotten over the big hump there, I measure this out. I actually want needles and pins put into this for right now. I don't want the fabric to start sliding on me as I'm sewing it. Oh no, zippers don't always. No, not at all. Like you can tell here that I didn't hand sew the zipper edge to the bias tape that I made, but I didn't want, so like a normal zipper here, I didn't want this area to be visible at all, so I covered it up with bias tape completely. Zippers usually are just machine sewn. That's why they got a zip-a-foot on the sewing machine. But I just decided that I wanted to do this project the most complicated way possible. And so this is what I got. Okay, so I want to measure. Now when I measure this out, I'm measuring all the way to the center. Plus I'm going to go over the center bit, and you can tell it on this side here a little bit, to cover up those seams. So I should be able to do something with this much. Get those guys out the way. Yeah, I had to find the marigold fabric because the yellow bias tape at Joann Fabrics was too yellow for me, too chippery, and it didn't match the render images that I had for Mad Moxxi. So I created a marigold double folded bias tape for all of her trim. The same trim will be done around her coat as well, so you can see over my shoulder. There's these strands here are the bias tape for her coat. So just endless hand sewing. Yay! When I pull, again, I'm pulling in the direction that I'm sewing. I don't want to pull up and make the sewing holes more visible or wider. So I pull with the direction that I'm stitching. This is the same method I use to hem my pants, my work pants. So you just literally go back and forth with this. I take the pins out as I go. Though I have been known to sew a pin into a cloak here and there. That much material, sometimes you just miss them. The worst is then trying to find a way to cut them out. Push them back out through the woven fibers of the fabric without damaging anything. Alright. I am going to have to tie this off here and start a new line, so I won't have enough to do the edge neatly. Also, this will help me, by tying it off here, will help me accomplish that top half with a little bit more ease. What am I doing? Feed it back through. This is a tricky part. So give yourself enough to work with, but not too much that it becomes a pain in the butt and in the way. Okay. Put this off to the side for now. What I need to do is I need to open up these sides. I'll use my nail to crease new edges, Because remember, I ironed all this for hours. I need to be able to tack it on one side, tack it all the way over to the other side. Looks like it's going to be possible. All right. Just trying to make sure that I've got it the correct distance away from itself. Flipping this thing back and forth like a pancake. Yay for duct tape finger. Ow. This needle goes into my finger. Alright, so the top's all done. Looks nice. Now let's move back to the bottom. So now I've got to sew the little flappy doohickey guys, technical term, check, to each other. This is where the little elastic things really get in the way. The elastic heel straps. Ugh. And then these edges again will be covered, the inside. So I'm just going to take this and tie it off. That's all. Just gonna take it off and tie it off. I'll cut it. I can leave the tail invisible. No one's going to see it when I'm done. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side, because it was so much fun. And again, I just go back and forth with it. Alright, so those are down now. I'm going to start the same way that I did with this one here. So I'm going to start by doing the inside and working your way out. Oh, goodness. Just grab those scissors and use those backwards. Oh, goodness. So yeah, it's just a lot of hand stitching today. Apples and tea as a snack. I'm gonna see how far did I... Okay, so I put them right up. I'm just using my nails to, again, press a different seam into them. Oh, come on. So this is gonna go through everything. Ah, it's so... Just stay in place, please. was using those scissors to help push things through. Duh. Ooh, ooh, ah, into finger. Oh, come on. So I'm just really weaving my stitches back and forth. Tuck that back in there. We're getting there. Sorry, I'm sure this is not exciting, riveting crap to watch. I'm sure I'm making some pretty interesting facial expressions, though. Oh, come on. So close. Sorry, I needed to move it to my lap for a second. One side. Alright, time to do the other. Elastic band. Ow. Okay, I need to cut this. Let's make this. There, we'll use that to help hold this down so you guys can see. So as I go around this toe here, I'm going to be making some pretty small stitch marks. Just because I don't want the fabric to buckle, and I want it to look clean. Kind of have to stretch the fabric as I go around. Okay, you're going to have to pardon me because I'm going to take it off screen for a second. Because again, this elastic, and I really want it to be as smooth as possible. You can kind of see it in my webcam, what I'm working on. But I don't want there to be any bumps in the fabric if I can prevent it. Hand stitching back and forth. Sorry, you won't be able to see much of this. Maybe one more second or two. I've got it at a great angle where I'm being able to pull on the fabric. As well as see an aerial view of both top and bottom. I got one little bump, that's not too bad. It'll be covered with the flap here. So here's one side, the bottom, done now. So it's getting there. Slowly but surely it's getting there. I like to coat these big silver ones. So this is all I have left, which will be just enough. How did I do? I know I folded it funny. Okay. Just checking too while I'm at it to make sure the glue didn't seep through the edge. Looks like it's good. Put you down there in case I need you sooner than later. Trying to just fold the end in. Oof. Oh, come on. There. Alright, now this thing is just catching the duct tape finger. Ooh, ow, ah. Well, if there's any new skin growth, it's gone now. See, here's my finger. It looks gross. It feels gross. Now, unlike the bottom one where there's this little bit of like a bubble in the fabric, I can't have that with this top because there won't be anything to hide it. So I'll get that pin out the way. I don't need them anymore. Hand sewing for days. So yeah, just sewing, hand sewing away. Okay, so we're not done yet. JK, ha ha ha, there's one more side. But we're getting there. And how do I know we're getting there? Because we've only got this much left. There's a trash can. I'm not just like moving my hand off camera and dropping the scrap thread into the same pile. I can say though, I think I'm going to have to apply a lotion on my hands after this. Oh goodness. I'm going to start by going over this end here. You have to sweep after doing every cross section. I can't throw scraps over my shoulder as much as I would like to. I give the cat free roam, and the last thing I need is him to ingest something he's not supposed to. That'd be a setback. So I try to keep my shit on lock, or at least in some disorganized organization. Like, it's just a bag. It's just a bag with scraps and trash in it. But it's hanging on my light fixture. Yeah, no, I would be the one to kill it. Cat dies by piece of thread. I would feel horrible. So I do my best to clean up as best as possible as I go. Oh, cat. Speaking of the cat, I don't think he's paid me a visit yet today. Let's see if we can call him. It's the cat call. We'll see if he wakes up and graces us with his presence. Oh, I think I hear him. Hi, buddy. You really came to that call, didn't you? Come here. Oh. This is how you want to sit? Because this doesn't seem comfortable. So, here's my buddy. Could you sit normal so that I could do something instead of sitting like a human on my lap? Good boy. Here, I'll give you something to entertain yourself with while we sit here. There you go. Piece of tape stuck to the table. Cat's dreams. That's what kitten dreams are made of, right, Stitch? Masking tape. Though I don't think he's gonna sit here and just purr for too long. Usually he wants attention. You gotta pay for his time. This is the last zipper that we have to go over. My fingers are so excited. Here, I'll move the tape then out of the way. Sometimes it's hard to go through sections where I might have glued earlier in the project. I mean, not like earlier today. I'm not sure how you possibly could be comfortable like that. Because your huge bodies. Oh. So he's trying to get comfortable and slowly his bum is rising. Oh, there he goes. It was good while it lasted. He just wants to sleep. Just like the other side, I've got to widen my bias tape. And fold them over quite a bit. Oop. I wonder if I can just poke. Alright, this is the last stretch we have to do for hand sewing of this bias tape. Oh, goodness. You make bias tapes so well that both of the sides are the exact same width. Oops. So close. So close. The curve on the tip of this. These are just a pain in the bum to go around. I might take the boot cover off camera again. Sorry guys. I just need to get this perfect. So close! Ah! Alright, the other one's down here. So let's see. How far over was it? Not too far. So here's all that we have left. This little piece. Alright, so after about 2 hours, so here is the other boot cover. So I'll get this guy with the clips out of the way. So you can see here's the flap that the buttons will be on, zippers in the back. I think this one goes to here. Yep. So if I slip my shoe in, and zip it up, there's a Mad Moxxi boot cover. I think it looks really nice, really sharp. I've got just enough. It'll look great too with the shadows pushed into it. I think they're turning out nice so far. This is gonna conclude my stream for right now, for today. Thanks for everybody that popped by to watch for a little bit or to chat in the chat box. I greatly appreciated the company, even if it was just to say that the sky is blue. Thanks, moms. If you want to continue watching progress on Mad Moxxi and things that possibly might not be streamed, you can start following me on my Instagram. I post daily progress photos for what I'm currently working on, whether it's Mad Moxxi or a scarf for Ravenclaw. It's all on the Instagram. If you are interested in seeing write-ups and possible photos from different conventions and festivals that I've gone to, please feel free to check out my Facebook page. If you want to see all the past archived Twitch streams, they are on my YouTube channel. If you don't want to check out any of those, you really don't have to. If you want to collab or just get a commission or say hi or send some funny memes my way, my email address is disfusionalstudios@gmail.com. And then all of my artwork is continuously displayed on my website at disfusional.com. So thank you for everybody that stopped by. It was great seeing you. Tomorrow is Saturday. As of right now, I'm not sure if I'm streaming this weekend. I do know that I need to put all this bias tape around Mad Moxxi after I zigzag stitch in the galvanized wire. So there is still some work that needs to be done before we can paint, but we are almost there. If I can get the wire put into her coat this weekend, then that means that next week we'll be painting this thing. So this nice, pretty white and yellow boot cover we just made together will be ugly. Or more beautiful, depending on how you look at things. So thanks again for everybody that stopped by. I will see you later.